Okay, so I spent the last third, well, the last month and a half with DWM basically, and I've been hacking on it, playing around with it, and I think I'm at a point where I'm actually kind of happy with it. So let me just show it to you real quick, and of course the cat's gonna jump on the table at the same time as this because we can't have a video on this channel without the cat showing up, right? But anyways, this is my standard desktop. I don't really see it all that often because, well, it's a tiling window manager. Why would I care to see what my background looks like? But you know what? I don't mind it. It looks pretty cool. But like any other tiling window manager, it does tile. So let me just turn on screen key here, and you can see super enter. I open up a terminal. My terminal of choice is Alacrity, and I've got my standard tile layout, and I've got my Fibonacci layout. This is actually my default layout is the Fibonacci layout, and I've been enjoying it, but you can see that I'm running Arch Linux right now. My system's got a bunch of packages on it because like I said, I've just been playing around. So I've already got 1,000 packages on this, and you know what? I'm fine with a little bit of bloat. Whatever. But yeah, I've had some people ask me why I have this cow that shows up in my terminals, and well, I like the fortune command because it gives me some interesting things to read every now and then, even though sometimes it's a big long piece of text. And why do I use the cow specifically? Well, it's because it's a memory of my mother. That's really it. Cows were her favorite animal, so and I don't really have any pictures of her, so I just put the little cow in my terminal because, well, it's nice to see a cow say something, right? This one here is actually talking about a joke about apt. It has been said that Red Hat is the thing that Mark Earring wears on his head. Oh, okay. But anyways, I do have a doc link or I do have links to my to the Git repos that I'm using for this build of DWM in the description down at the bottom of the video. But why DWM? Well, it's because I don't. It's not necessarily that I believe in the suckless philosophy of people should know follow the Unix philosophy to the strictest form and everything. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I do like what I see here. And this is not the default configuration. This is my configuration. But what do I mean by I like what I see here? Well, I understand what I'm seeing here. That's really it. I have taken the time to put a bunch of comments into my config file because I'm still learning the window manager. But I can understand define alt mask mod 1 mask. Okay, well, I know where the alt key is now because, well, that actually came as part of a patch because, well, DWM doesn't recognize what the alt 1 mask is. So I had to patch that. But anyways, you can see, hey, this mod key. This is where I set my modifier key to be. Some window managers don't necessarily make that super forward to actually see. I know, right? That's crazy. But I understand. I can wrap my head around this command. You can see, unlike say the awesome window manager config, I'm not calling the command and the keybind in the same line. Instead, I'm building up a library of what these individual functions do, and then I'm calling the keybind somewhere else. And I understand that like that's not going to be for like everybody, and it kind of just looks the config files being like all over the place. But I understand what I'm looking at here, and that's more important to me than like having something that's easy to configure. Because well, quite famously, DWM is not easy to configure. Let me open a web browser and just look at it here. Well, I don't want the Git, but like this right here is just sucklets.org, and right here is DWM, and they advertise there is no Lua integration, no shell-based configuration, no remote control. Any change that I make to DWM, I basically have to recompile and reboot it. I like completely quit out and then come back in because well you can't restart DWM. But look at that. Their advertised binary size, 26 kilobytes. Right there's a tar. Let's grab it. tar.gz. Right there it is. It's super small. And it's small because it's minimal. And really, I learned a lot about window management just getting this set up. Like I learned the bare minimum of what I want for a functional window manager by configuring DWM. And I think it's kind of ruined like all the other window managers for me so far because, well, if you paid attention on like distrotoot.com, the social media site that I'm on the most often, the Mastodon instance, you know that I've been playing around with xmonad a little bit. Like I do have an xmonad config. And like I've done some stuff in xmonad, but I don't necessarily understand what's going on here. Like if this comment was here, I would have no idea what this was doing. Cause it's just like button one mod. What is W focus W? Okay, we're doing something with mouse move window. Okay. We're figuring it out a little bit at a time, but let's see. We're importing random stuff. Okay. We're doing other stuff, and I understand that xmonad is a very powerful window manager. But I have no idea what's going on in this config file. I know what's going on in this config file here. Like, I just don't know what's going on here. That's really it. And then, yeah, I have done some stuff in my bashrc. And I don't do a whole lot of my bashrc compared to like what other people do because, well, I primarily stick to defaults. But like you can see, I've declared a couple things, and I've got right there's all the rice in my entire terminal right there. I've got a couple aliases declared, and I've got a couple aliases that I set up for like custom functions as well. Let me get that up here so that way you guys can see a little bit easier. And then like I created a special command to like open man pages in Vim. We can turn screen key off. We don't need that. But anyways, like I've taken a little bit of time to configure with it and tinker around, and well, that's cool. And then I did take a moment to create my own GTK theme as well. Uh, you can see like I've got the cool little flat icon theme. It's actually just like my own recolor of the Numix icon set. And then the GTK theme I created is actually based off of Materia. Now you can see that I have a standard and I have a high DPI, which I need to work on the high DPI a little bit, but I don't really have a high DPI monitor, so it's not necessarily my priority. I'll have links to them in the Git below, in the Git in the description down there. But anyways, I've been enjoying DWM. It's been a pretty cool experience so far. My status bar text is handled by SL text because like why would I use DWM blocks when like the suckless team has already solved it for me? It's like just go in here and it's like, hey, look, there's slstatus and like there's actual documentation on this thing, and it's like, hey, I know what this stuff does, so here I'm calling it. And because I have the status 2D, I can color it. Hey, that's pretty cool, right? I think it's pretty cool. And then I'm calling these using variables that I understand, like, hey, that's how I get my date and time set up. And it's like, yeah. Because at this point, I'm just using shell modifiers for it, bash calls. But yeah, I've been enjoying it. But DWM has been a fairly interesting project for me to play around with, and I'm probably going to continue using it for a good while yet because I'm not hating it yet. That's really it. Like the awesome window manager has always felt a little. The configuration that I had for it has always been a little janky, I guess would be the best way to describe it. Which is pretty awkward because I've developed a lot of stuff with Lua, and I understand what it is, and I understand like the Lua syntax and all that, but it's just like I can't wrap my head around the awesome window manager's version of Lua because like I learned how to write Lua with World of Warcraft add-ons, and of course that knowledge doesn't necessarily apply in other places, which is a bit unfortunate as I found out. But I figured, you know what? I'm going to try to learn a language that like I can actually make use of. So I decided to teach myself C because, well, like if you're installing a Linux operating system, you have all the tools you need to actually make use of C. So that's what I did, and well, I'm not necessarily hating it. Anyways, if you guys ever want to give it a try, I have my DWM build and the slstatus build, my themes and my fonts available in various Git repos in the description at the bottom of the video. See ya.